Let's wait for Shakil. Okay, it's already time. I believe he'll join in because he said he will join in. Maybe we can start. Shashwani joined in after a while. I believe you are going through recordings and you are following
Yes,
along.
sir. Right, sir.
Okay, let me quickly share my screen. Shakil is also in. Hi, Shakil.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good evening. Okay. So today we'll talk about installation part of Terraform. S- Let me quickly log in. Just a moment. Looking for MFA. Yeah, got it. 08859. Okay. So I'm going to use this instance only. So first thing which I'm going to cover is installation part of Terraform, because by default Terraform won't be installed in your EC2 instance in your virtual machine. So you need to learn how to do that. So let's connect to this. This connection and change the font. Now connect. Okay, accept EC2 user. Okay, now if I execute the command Terraform, you see what it says, Terraform command not found, because Terraform is not yet installed into this. The first thing will be to install Terraform. Then we will try to integrate. So two things you have to do, right? These are the things which we have learned yesterday about Terraform. So now here something we learned yesterday, that with the use of provider, we are going to talk about integration with any of the provider. It can be cloud provider, it can be on-prem provider, it can be any of the provider which you can think about, right? It can be any of the provider which you can think about. It will do integration along with it. So first thing what we'll learn is we'll install Terraform in our EC2 instance in our virtual machine. And next thing will be to integrate Terraform with cloud. That will be second thing which we are going to do. So now let's talk about the first thing of installation. So now in order to install, what I'll do is I'll again refer Terraform official document. If you remember, for every tool which I covered, I'm referring official documentation because that is going to be your place, your library for everything when you are working on any of the tool. So I'll say Terraform installation. Again, I'll go to uh, HashiCorp, this official documentation, like the way I said you yesterday too, that HCL is HCL is HashiCorp Limited. What did I write? HCL is HashiCorp Limited. Terraform is open source or open standard tool which is HCL's product. HCL stands for HashiCorp Limited. So HashiCorp developer, this will be the link where you have to click on to install Terraform. And this is very specific to AWS. Let's go to the generic one. Now it says you do have different documentation for Mac, for Windows. You see the left side pane, the Windows separate content will be there. Linux, FreeBSD, OpenBSD, Solaris, Mac, different thing will be there. Ours is Linux. You can refer anything. If you want to install on Windows, click on Windows link. If you want to install on Linux, click on Linux link. If you want to install on Mac, click on Mac link. I have Windows, sorry, I have Linux. So I'm going to click on Linux link. Now in Linux also, which Linux I have? I think I have Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Let's see. Cat etc os release. This is the Fedora type. And let's see if it is having Fedora. Yeah, Fedora type is there. Or Amazon Linux. Mine is Amazon Linux, right? Yeah, ID is Amazon. It is Amazon Linux. So now they're giving a separate sort of tab for Amazon Linux also. Click on Amazon Linux. So now in this Amazon Linux, they gave all the code as well that you have to install this, and this thing. A binary download, free BSD download, everything they're giving. But the easy way will be to just copy and paste the command which they have given to just install it, right? To just install it. So I'm just going to do that. No brainstorming in this, no spending more time in this. They gave you a command, you just have to copy and paste it. No, nothing else you have to do. Now it's not and why I'm referring this, because it might happen that tomorrow these command changes, which is not in your control, my control, not in anybody's control. It can change. Tomorrow command can change. And if the command changes, then again you have to come to this place and copy the command also. That is the reason I'm not sharing any commands for you to install this for you. Because say in case if tomorrow changes, then you should not be in any problem. This is the place. You have to come, you have to copy the command and you have to execute it. So I'm just going to copy this and paste this. Hit enter. And it says install Terraform. Says install and done. Now if I execute Terraform command, what it says, it doesn't say anymore that a Terraform command is not found. Right? Previously it was saying that the Terraform command is not found and I was unable to do anything. But now it doesn't say that thing. It says that yes, I do have Terraform installed, and yes, you do have different type of installation things present. Now I want to go bit theory on this. How Terraform works. How Terraform, how Terraform, actually you will use Terraform to create any resources. Like the way we learned yesterday, that what you will use Terraform for? You will use Terraform for different purposes. You will integrate it with different cloud vendor, but mainly you will use Terraform to create new resources. This is what you learned yesterday. You will use Terraform to create new resources or to call existing resources by using different types of blocks in Terraform. You will either create new resources or you will call existing resources. Now, whenever you are doing this, okay, whenever you are doing this, you have to understand one thing very nicely. You have to understand one thing very nicely, that Terraform gives you a kind of privileges. Terraform gives you a kind of advantage wherein it shows you what you are going to do even before you have done it. Right? It's not as in you will do it first, you will completely implement it first, and then start looking into the things. Okay, fine, I'll go into the console and I'll see, okay, fine, this is what it's been created. Perhaps you created something which you never wanted to. So Terraform shows you that, what are the resources, what are the configuration of resources you want to create. Perhaps you wanted to create a smaller size of EC2 instance, but knowingly, unknowingly, in while writing the resource block, you have given the larger configuration of EC2 instance, which if you do, you will end up paying lots of money to Amazon, which you don't want to do, right? Which you don't want to do. So what Terraform says that, don't worry, I'll show you what you're trying to create. Even before you create it, you verify it, you go review it. If it matches your requirement, if it matches your expectation, then and only then you do it. And what to do, how to write resource block, everything is documented there. Everything is documented, and I'll refer those documentation, I'll share the link of those documentation also to you, so that you can just go ahead and do that. Everything is there in the official documentation, so no need to brainstorm, no need to think much. You have to just copy, edit, and apply. That's it. This is what you have to do. It's very simple. Okay, it's very simple. Gradually there could be complexity, but you have to start with very basics only. You cannot just start writing complicated code. That you will just get confused entirely if you're doing it, right? So you have to start from very basics. So now what you have to do is, whenever you are doing it, whatever you are doing it, you have to have a plan phase, apply phase, and even before plan phase, you will have init phase. Init phase. Init phase. There was one more tool also. There was one more tool also, where we worked on the init phase, where we initialized something. Do you remember which tool was that? Where we the initialized the tool setup, initialize the tool usage even before we worked on it, even before we used that.
Yeah, in Git.
Absolutely, yes. In Git, we initialized version controlling our local repository by using git init command, and then we moved and executed our git add, git commit, git push, whatever it is. All the commands we executed after that. That was one command. What we did with Git, we initialized version controlling, right? We initialized version controlling. Similarly, by using init in Terraform, we will initialize Terraform. We will just wake Terraform up. So as Terraform wakes up, it initializes. After that, we will work on the planning phase of our resource creation. And then after we are done with the planning phase, where all the things are very clear, that what we are going to do, how it's going to work, post that we will apply it, we'll execute it, we will implement it. So this is what we are going to do. A bit of theory, and I gave you this theory because I saw this thing, like init, validate, plan, apply, destroy. So validate it just to validate whether the configuration is valid. Destroy is to destroy all everything whatever you have created, right? So these are the different commands. These are the different main commands. Like the way it says, main commands to work on it is these five only. These five only. With these main command, you will be able to do plenty of things. We'll see that. We'll execute this command many a times in our discussion also. So now this is done, right? This is done. After this, what you are going to do? Now your Terraform is installed. After this, what you're going to do? After this, I will create a connection. As of now, my Terraform doesn't know where to create resource. Is it going to be AWS, Azure, in AWS, which account, which not account? Terraform doesn't know anything about it, right? Terraform doesn't know anything about it. I have to tell Terraform that, yes, Terraform, this is the account which you have to use. This is what you have to do. In order to do that, what I'll do is, and this is very general practice which we create, I will create one IAM user. IAM user. Now these are the things, how to create IAM user, how to bind it with a role. I will go with a belief that you are already aware of this because we have covered this in huge detail. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will create one IAM user, and you see something like Terraform user, but I'll delete this for now. This I would have created in some other session. So I'm just going to delete this. Okay. So I will create one user. Now I do have only two user, demo user and test user, which we would have created at the time of our lab itself. Now I'm going to create another user which is specifically for Terraform. And it's not mandatory to give any Terraform in this username, but just to remember that yes, this user is meant to work for Terraform purpose. This user I've created, which is with this user is needed to manage Terraform stuff. I'll give it a name as Terraform user. You can give any name, not mandatory. You can give any name. I don't want to provide AWS management console access to it. I want to provide only CLI access. I will attach it to policy and I want to give admin access to it. These things we have covered. That's the reason I'm going a bit faster here. Next, and create user. Uh, okay, it's creating. Okay, the user is created. Right, the user is created. Now after user is created, what I'll do, I will just generate the security credentials out of it, going into this tab. And now access key I'll create. So you must be aware of these things. And enable AWS CLI to access. Yeah, maybe I'll put it other itself. I can use AWS command line interface also, no problem. I can use this also or this also, either of the things we can use. Next, understand, and tag value not needed. Create access key created. After that, what I'll do is I will execute the command which is AWS configure. Right? I'll execute AWS configure command. This also we have learned when we were learning AWS. And as I hit enter, it will start asking me. You see that the time when we were learning, we gave some key here. I'm going to overwrite with this key now. This Terraform user which I have created, whose job is to help me executing Terraform commands. I'm not going to log in into AWS Management Console ever by using Terraform user credentials. I'm going to use that user credential just to execute my Terraform related tasks. So this is the second step. First step is to install Terraform, which we learned. Second step is to create a Terraform user and then perform all this setup. So I'll just make a note of it. So step one, Terraform configuration, Terraform, Terraform configuration or setup in EC2. What we have done is what we have done was we have okay. The first thing which we have done is Terraform install. Install Terraform. I'll put in the link here. And second thing is create Terraform, Terraform IAM user. And third thing will be configure Terraform IAM user credentials in in EC2 instance. in EC2 instance. These are the three things which you have to do by executing Terraform by AWS configure command. So now this is done. Now copy the secret access key, done, and keep the region as same because I'm going to create everything that is in AP South 1 itself, and done, and done. Now I have also informed, so this is the second step of your Terraform setup. I've also informed my machine that yes, you
So,
have to use.
sir, excuse me.
Mhm.
Quick question. So when you wrote AWS configure, so
Mhm.
and then it was asking for the access key. This is for the root user, right?
No, no. This is for IAM user, Terraform user. So for whom I have this we have covered, right? For whom we have created this access key for Terraform users.
Yes.
So
So
when I
now,
give
so now you're logged in as a new user, Terraform
Ter-
user in
Terraform,
EC2?
yes.
Okay, I think I missed that part. Okay. So you
So
logged
this,
out from the root user and you logged in as a, but it's still showing root.
no, no, this root is the user which I've created there in Linux machine. So this root user is not the root user or admin user of AWS. This is just in EC2 instance. I have created one user which is with the name root.
Yeah, this is where I'm confused.
See,
I don't know. Where
I
where
think
are we right now? In EC2?
EC2. You have to just review the recordings of our AWS discussions,
Sir, I have reviewed all the recordings.
and
Uh,
it's there. It's there. It's there. AWS configure is something which we had executed there also, and we
yeah,
have switched from
but
one
still,
user to another user
yeah,
there
I'm
also.
still not understanding if we're logged in as a root user in EC2 or the new user. You just said that now we're logged in as a Terraform user.
Yeah. Do you understand this AWS configure command?
Yes.
Yes. So this AWS configure command, what it does, what we achieve by executing this command,
We're
it's
we're we're making configurations.
no, no. We are trying to pass on any user credentials to our EC2 instance. Any user, Terraform user at this point, but later on, in case if you want to switch to any other user, you can do that. Yeah,
Okay.
that is what I've done. I've
So
taken.
at that level where you issued this command AWS configure,
Mhm.
who's the user at that prompt?
No one. This is
No one.
no
Okay.
one. This is just the root user which is in this virtual machine. When I logged in, when I logged in into this virtual machine, which user I was, which user I was,
EC2 user default.
where is this user created?
This is created by default.
Where? In this EC2 instance,
Yes.
right? This is not the EC2 user or any IAM user. This is a
Okay.
user like in Windows. I have a user. This is my Windows machine, right? In this Windows machine, when you go to control panel, you will see the user with which you logged in. This is your machine user. This is nothing to do with AWS. This EC2 instance is just a virtual machine. It can be when you log in to your network console, there also you see some user. What user you normally see when you log in to your network device, this management console, what user you see there? You must be seeing some user, right? What user you see?
Yeah.
What user you see? It's a question.
Admin.
Admin, right? So where is that admin user created? It's just the interface. which is allowing you to modify or make some changes in
Okay.
your in your in your maybe device, right? So it has nothing to do with the device. It has everything to do with the interface which the device is allowing you. The device is giving you, offering you. Similarly, in this case also, this is just an interface. This is just a machine. This has nothing to. You can create this machine elsewhere. This machine, if I create, if I use Azure, I can create same thing there also. It has nothing to do with AWS. I am user and the user which we create in a machine are two different things, right? Okay, let's move on because these are a couple of times I've discussed this. So now I'm a root user. Now in root user, being a root user, what I've done at this point is I have configured my credentials by using AWS configure. I've configured my credentials. Now, once I configured my credentials of Terraform user, what I have informed to this machine that, hey, whenever you are making any of the Terraform changes, take reference, be Terraform user and do the job, right? Do the job. Now I'm all good. Now my setup completes here. Here, my Terraform is installed. I do have a user. I do have one authentication mechanism also, which I'm going to use to make all the changes there in this specific account. You need two things, right? What you need in order to work on AWS Management Console, you need your authentication. You need your credentials. Until unless you have your credentials, you will not be able to make any changes there on AWS account, right? You have to have those credentials. You have to have your content ready with you. If you don't have that, you will not be able to. Same thing I've done. I have my tool, which is Terraform installed, and secondly, I have configured my Terraform user credentials also, and all set. I'm all good, right? Is it clear? Other than your thing, Shakil, which is root user and I'm
Mm.
user, is it clear?
No, sir, it's not clear to me, but I think we can just proceed.
Oh,
I'm not understanding this whole concept. Who is
so you,
who's creating permissions for who, and who's logged in and given permissions to who? I did not understand any of this stuff.
I understand, and I think
And
that's
it's
what
a
I'm
very
saying.
basic concept. It's not that it's
It's
very
you have to just
complicated
go
stuff,
back and
but
review
it's
the
just that
AWS recordings because until unless you review all the past recordings, until unless you practice all the past recordings, I won't be able to help. Because if I'm saying those things, it's like I'm repeating AWS topics again, which I'm not going to do. Okay. Other than that, is it clear? Vaibhav,
Okay.
Shakil. Sorry, Vaibhav and Ashwini. Is it clear?
So the user which you created for Terraform, so we are not providing any admin rights. I mean, since that
No.
user will be used for implementing and modification, so we are just giving the specific role to that user, right?
Yes, absolutely. We have associated a policy to it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay, cool. Now, next thing will be, now this is done. So now next thing will be to start writing those resource blocks and data blocks and every other thing. And in order to do that, what I'll do is I will create like for every tool what I've done, I have created a separate folder. For this also, I'll create a separate folder, which is Terraform. Okay, it's not there. So I'll create a folder which is with the name Terraform and cd Terraform. And now here, now here what I'll do is I'll create my first resource block. Now again, I'll be referring the I'll be referring the official documentation of HashiCorp. Now, in order to refer the official documentation of HashiCorp, what I'll do is I will write Terraform documentation. I'll start from here. So Terraform documentation, click on this. Now click on documentation and documentation. I think we are already at this place. Where is that Terraform provider? Let's see. Let's see if this is no. Let me just find out. What is Terraform use cases? I'll directly take you to the place where it talks about Terraform providers and registry. Let's Google search Terraform. What is this? Not the AWS provider. I'll go to Terraform providers. Not this even. Okay, let's see. AWS Terraform. I want you to explain, show you everything whatever Terraform supports, so that it will be very clear to you, and I'll find it. Terraform registry. Something here. 𝗂𝗃. Yeah. Okay. So yesterday we were talking about different types of cloud providers or non-cloud providers which Terraform supports. So now you see all the cloud providers and non-cloud providers which Terraform supports. Everything which you will see, this is the list. This is the list. So Terraform provider details. Terraform providers details is this. So now this contains list of all the Terraform, all the platforms, cloud, non-cloud, which Terraform works on, which Terraform could be integrated with. Now you see, Terraform could be, if you click on AWS, it will give you all the documentation, everything which is needed for AWS, for you to work on AWS. Same is with GCP. Same is with Azure, Kubernetes. Yesterday we were talking about something else. Azure Stack, these all are different platforms. These all are different platforms with whom Terraform could be integrated with. And here there will be a number of different things. It can be integrated with database also. Oh, it's not there. Let's see, category database or um,
Networking
networking. You
below
see,
that
yeah.
database. Yeah.
Maybe I'll just move something from here. No result found. Let's remove this networking. And let's go to, definitely this works with different cloud vendor, AWS. Wow, 50 next pages. So yeah, here you will see a number of different things. Everything what you see here, Terraform could be, it's huge. It's huge. Policy libraries. Terraform is now single point of tool for every automation tool, every automation which you want to bring in your organization. You see, it can be integrated with Alibaba, AWS, Azure, Boundary, all our cloud provider. Every of this provides some or the other cloud thing. And it's like networking as in maybe there should be some specific thing for networking also, I believe. Uh,
Cisco device. I mean,
I have seen, yeah, I've seen it's there. It can be integrated with that. Not directly, maybe it can be integrated along with some third-party tools, but
okay.
like DNS for DNS configuration, HTTP config. So maybe when we talk about Cisco, maybe some other feature of Cisco, DNS, which we set up by using Cisco, it could get integrated along with that. Or there could be, let's see, Terraform for Cisco. It has to be something. This is, I think, iOS XE, yeah, Terraform integrations. Yeah, it's integrating with, it's there, you see, it's there. The stack HashiCorp has integration along with it. It's huge now. Terraform can be integrated with anything. It's integrated with Red Hat, ServiceNow, wow, ServiceNow also. Grafana, Dell, Cisco technology. For everything it can integrate. So yes, it can integrate with everything at this point of time. Terraform is growing very fast. It's going to be one of the biggest automation tool at one point. Okay, okay. So now let's click on AWS because we are going to integrate it with AWS. So now the first thing is you need to learn again. I'll just refer this official documentation. Even you have to do quite the same thing when you are working, doesn't matter. Even today, when we work, after having so many years of experience in IT industry, so many years of experience working with Terraform, even now when I work, I refer Terraform documentation because certain things you never know. When it changes, you have to refer official documentation. Maybe some new feature which AWS comes up with, and we need to know in case if Terraform supports creation of those new features or not, or maybe some new in EC2 itself. Maybe tomorrow AWS came up with some new feature wherein we can just add some maybe firewall along with EC2 while creating it. So I need to come to this registry. I need to come to this documentation and see in case if it's working or not, right? So I have to use that. So now click on documentation and this documentation will give you everything, whatever you need. So let's start with the basic thing which we have to use. I will first use I want to create EC2 instance. So what I'll do, I'll just type in the search like the way when we were learning Kubernetes, what we have done, we have whatever the objects we were creating, we just typed the name of the object. We were creating we were creating some pod, we were creating some replica set or deployment set. I just typed the name there. And as I typed the name there, what happened is it has just created it. It has just worked on it, right? It has just worked on it. It has just given me everything what I need to work on it. Similarly, same thing you have to do here also. You have to just type, and after typing, yes, you will get plenty of option, and that is where I'll help you which one to choose, right? Which one to choose. Now, if you get so many of the different options, the one which you have to choose is let me just check. Um, Let me just check. So let's type EC2 instance, AWS instances, data, not this, AWS this resource, not this. Don't worry, I'll give you what is there. AWS Connect instance. I don't think it should be that. I can write the code, but the thing is that won't help you. Uh, AWS instance. Because if I'll simply write the code, that won't help you in future, which is not good. EC2. Let's search it. EC2 availability zone, AWS AMI from EC2. I will teach you how to search from here, as that will help you for a longer period. Uh, console IP, AWS instance, AWS instances. List resource, data source, resources, ECR, transit, managed prefix, VPN. It's weird. SCTS cluster. Why there is no proper documentation for EC2 instance creation? This is, what is this? No, not even this. This is weird. There should be a proper documentation of how to create EC2. Let's see. Search Terraform or to create EC2 in Terraform registry. Resource AWS instance. This is the thing which it's going to work. It's under what? This is the type which you need, but where it is? Docs resources instance. So what I have to filter with? I have to filter with this. Let's see if I filter with this. Do I get it? AWS instance. Okay, yeah, I'm getting it. So this is the filter which you will use to create EC2 instance. Create EC2 instance. Okay. This is the filter which you will use to get the code to create EC2 instance. Now, here, I'll explain you everything, whatever you need to know. First, let's take the code. This code is enough to create EC2 instance. This code will be enough. We'll see that. So again, I'm going to use VI editor to create EC2 and I'll name the file as the standard name which we spoke yesterday, main.tf. Main.tf is the standard name which I'm going to use to create a file. You can give any name, like the way I said even yesterday, you can give any name, but the name which I'm going to use is main.tf. Now here, I said you yesterday also that the block which will you use to create new resource will be resource block. Nothing other than this, right? You will use a resource block to create new resources. Again, I'm using resource block to create new resources. After that, understand this. So after resource block, there are two things, AWS instance and example. Now, how Terraform is able to create any resource? Terraform has to, yes, you have provided authentication. I agree. But Terraform is a third-party tool. You have installed third-party tool. What you have done, you have given some sort of authentication, and that authentication will allow this user to this tool or the user which you have created for yourself to make some changes in the account. Just a layman example. You wanted a courier to be delivered from your address to your friend's address. What you have done? You have given a call to your friend. So you have selected a person first, right? You have selected a person first. That person is like a tool. Terraform, that person is like a tool you have selected. Second, you have to give authentication. You have given a call to your friend and said that, hey, this person, and this is what we have done, where we have created this authentication Terraform user in AWS in my friend's home. So you will give a call to your friend and will say that, hey, person with this name will come with a courier. Please accept it. So now your friend will, what your friend will do? Yes, your friend will know that this person with this identity is allowed to enter his place. Authentication granted. Authentication granted. But how this person will reach to your friend's place? You have to give some information also to this person. You have to tell to this person what is the location of your friend, what is the address in this lane, which home, which house number your friend lives in. After you are providing all these information, pose that only this guy, whatever the courier person, will be able to reach to your friend's place. Right? You're following, right? What I'm trying to explain here?
Yep.
Yes, no,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
That
okay.
reachability basically. Yeah.
Reachability, right? Some sort of payload I'm talking about. Some sort of payload you are just giving to this person so that this person will be able to reach to your friend's place and will be able to deliver the package, right? So now what you're doing, what is this payload? Normally this is called API. In terms of IT world, this is API. What this API does, API takes payload from one website and passes to other website. This is what API does. If you don't know about API, this is what API does. API takes information from one site and passes information to other site. That's it. And this happens in the form of a payload. And this is the payload which you are giving to your courier guy. You are saying that go to this location. At this location, hand over the courier package to this guy. This is the payload. Now, this Terraform should have that API with it. Should have that API, the name of the API, which now you can have different APIs given to this courier guy. You have two friends, you have given one package, one API, one payload that go to this guy, go to this location, go to this guy, and to this guy, you have to hand over a bigger package. To other guy, you don't have to hand over a package, you have to receive a package. To one person you have to hand over, from other person to you have to receive. So you are given two instruction, two payload, one payload, one instruction to other one address, another payload, another instruction to second address. Similarly here also, the instruction which you will give Terraform, by means of which Terraform will reach to AWS and will create instance for you, is named as AWS instance. That is the instruction. That is the API. For doing different job, there will be different. For example, if I'll go to do, if I want to do something else. For example, we learned EKS also, right? So now for EKS, you see, I'm just clicking on EKS. You see, this is different. After resource, this is different. If you'll click on, we learned S3 also, right? So if I type S3, that if I click on S3, you see for S3 this is different because you wanted to do some different job. For S3, you wanted to do some different job. For instance, you wanted to do some different job for EKS. That is the reason your payload, your API information is different for one resource to another resource. So the first part after resource block is the API. This you cannot change, right? This you cannot change. This is something which is defined by Terraform. Terraform selected this specific API so that in AWS, you see it starts with AWS. You cannot use this in Azure because this starts with with AWS. For Azure, it's it's um it's Azure RM. For Azure, it starts with Azure RM. For AWS, it starts with AWS. So this is the API. I'm putting more emphasis on this because going forward, I'll go a bit faster on this. And that time you need to understand. When I'm saying this API, you need to understand, okay, fine. If I'm saying API, then basically this is the API which is used to create certain resources. That time I won't explain. So AWS instance is the API which is used to create EC2 instance. For S3, it will be different. Tomorrow, when I'll be creating S3, I'll use some other API for that. This you cannot change because this is something which is created, which is defined by Terraform to create EC2 instance only. I'll give a pause here. Did you understand the first block after resource? This first quoted thing after resource. Is this clear? Yes, no, everything is fine. Now I'll repeat. I'll ask you, if you'll ask me twice, thrice, I'll repeat now.
Sorry, sir, I was on office call, but this resource AWS instance means we are giving. Can you please that resource part I miss actually?
Sure, sure. So
And
see,
so my question is, what is resource? What does resource mean?
this resource, the one which I explained yesterday, the theory which I covered yesterday,
Okay.
this thing which I covered yesterday, resource block, different types of blocks. Yeah, this is resource block which creates new resource, data block which call existing resources. This is resource, right?
That instance
Oh.
names we are giving there, sir, in that
Uh,
script.
no, this is, I'll come to the instance
Okay.
name. I'll come to the instance name, but I am talking about this specific keyword at this point. So this is the block which Terraform uses to create resources, like the way I explained yesterday. Resource block. This is the resource block. Resource block is the block which Terraform uses to create resources, right? So this AWS instance is the name of the API which Terraform will use to create instances. This is the instruction. This is the payload. Like I give you an example where in case if you are sending to the courier guy that from one address you have to receive package, from to one address you have to deliver the package. So two instruction you are giving. This is an instruction given by Terraform to AWS that yes, when I'm entering into AWS account, I'll create one instance. So this is the API name. Consider this is the name of the API. This is the name of the instruction which I'm giving to Terraform to create resources because we are admin. Our job is to give instruction to Terraform so that when Terraform reaches, so we have already authenticated by using Terraform user, we have already authenticated. Now, what is next thing? Next thing is to give instruction. So with this instruction, this is a specific instruction which Terraform will use to create EC2 instance. Clear?
Okay, and sir, in that inverted comma example means.
I'll come to that part. Don't worry about
Okay,
that.
so that is clear, sir.
This
Instance,
part.
yeah,
Just focus on this now. Clear?
yeah,
I'll explain each and every keyword. Is this clear?
yeah. We are instructing to create. I mean,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, it is clear.
Okay, okay, cool. So now next comes is, so this you cannot change, right? This you cannot change because this is the instruction which is defined by Terraform. This is not in our, we are admin. We are DevOps engineer, we are admin. This is not in our control. We cannot change it. This, if Terraform changes tomorrow, then only we can change it. Right? Terraform is a big company. If Terraform changes, then and only then we can change it. Now, next thing is, now there can be plenty of this kind of APIs. Plenty of this kind of APIs could be there. right? Plenty of this kind of APIs could be there. Now consider that I have hired two courier guys. Instead of hiring one courier guy, I have hired two courier guy, and to first courier guy, I have given the instruction. I have a friend, right? I have a friend whose name is maybe something, maybe Ashwini. I have a friend whose name is Ashwini. I gave instruction to my first courier guy that, hey, go to Ashwini's place and hand over a package to him. Hand over maybe something. Hand over this car key to Ashwini. This courier guy started with this instruction. After he reached midway, I realized, oh my God, it's not only the key which I wanted to hand over. I had to hand over something else also. I had to hand over a bike key also to Ashwini. What I've done? I cannot call this guy back because this guy already reached halfway. What I've done? I have hired another courier guy and given instruction again to go to Ashwini's place to deliver something. Again, same instruction I gave. Okay, fine, go and deliver. So delivering is one instruction. Understand this. Delivering is one resource, one instruction. Receiving is another type of instruction. So to the first courier guy, I gave instruction, hand over car key to Ashwini. To second courier guy, I am giving instruction to deliver. Deliver is one type of instruction, to deliver a bike key. Now what I'll do? If I'll say same thing, if I'll give same instruction to both the courier guys, it's not done. Because now first guy has to deliver car key, second guy has to deliver bike key. So in that case, what I'll do, I will change, I will make some alteration. Instead of bike key, instead of car key, I'm making it a bike key. So there is something which I'm changing. My instruction is not changing. You have to both has to deliver, both has to deliver, but something is changing. One has to deliver bike key, another has to deliver car key. So this is something which is called local variable in terms of Terraform. One is API name, another is local variable. Now, in terms of Terraform, you have to create two instances. Two instances. Remember, you have to create two instances. Name of one instance is ABC. Name of second instances is DEF. Two different instances you have to create. If you will give same sort of local variable, your Terraform will be confused which one to create, which one not to create. In that case, what we do, we keep the API name same and we'll change the local variable from example to example1. Example will understand that yes, you have to create a EC2 instance with the name ABC, and example one will understand that you have to create the EC2 instance with the name DEF. Now, similar to that, similar to the courier guy example, to the first courier guy, I'll give the instruction. I'll perhaps give a name that yes, you deliver car key and your name will be, say something, your name will be A, and to the second courier guy, the name will be B. The job of A is to deliver car key and the job of B is to deliver bike key. Only I'm changing the names, but instruction remains same. Delivering. Similarly here, both the, say in case tomorrow, I have to create another resource, another resource, another resource, and the perhaps the EC2 instance name is also maybe same or different, doesn't matter. But this is meant for some different purpose. If I give this instruction, if I keep the local variable same, then my Terraform will be confused. Which one to do what? Which one should I instruction? Both looks very similar. which one to do. In that case, what we do, just to create a differentiation, so the Terraform is also happy, I am also happy, I will just change from example to example1. So example or example1 or example2, these are the local variables. I'm not changing the API name because that is not in my control. I'm just changing the local variable based on creating some sort of differentiation in between multiple resources of same type which I want to create. Right? Does this make sense? Is this clear?
So the prefix has to be example? No. We can change the whole prefix.
No. You can change it. You can change it. You can keep it anything.
Okay.
That's not, I just used example for example. You can choose, you can put anything. That's fine. We'll change it. We'll change it as in we'll keep it as per our own wish. Is this clear?
Yeah, sir, since you haven't explained that other part, but this is something we created when you created manually that instance. I mean, that AMI and instance type, we have to select there, right? While creating manually, when we were creating the Linux machines, these parameters we manually set there, right?
Manually select.
This T3 something free tire and that things we check during creation.
Yes.
Okay.
We check that manner. But I'll come to that part also.
Yeah.
I'll explain that part also. Is it clear?
For me it's clear, sir.
Right. Ashwini, clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. So this first line is clear. Right. From next time onwards, I'll just go over it. I won't explain. Now, this one is AMI. What is AMI? While we were creating EC2 instance, like the way Vaibhav said just now, we chose this manually. So these are the mandatory components which you need while you are creating EC2 instance. So say I'm launching EC2 instance. What I've done, I've given a name here. Test. I won't create it. I'm just giving a name here. I've chosen AMI. I have a drop down, right? I have a drop down. Out of that drop down, I chose one AMI, which is for me, right? Which is for me. I have chosen it. Now, same thing I'm going to do now also in front of you. I'll choose one AMI. So this AMI, now to define some other components, some other, I'll say mandatory components which you need to create EC2 instance. For example, when you are instructing the courier guy to hand over car key to some guy, what is the mandatory component in that? You have given the instruction to courier guy, yes, you go and deliver. What is the mandatory component in that? There should be a car key, right? You have given the instruction, hand over the car key to this guy. What is the mandatory thing in that? There should be a car key. If there is no car key, what he will hand over? You gave instruction, you gave the address, you call to your friend. If this guy is not carrying anything, what he will deliver? Nothing. So what is the mandatory component in order to create one EC2 instance? Instance type and the AMI ID of the EC2 instance. There are many other components, like we have selected VPC, we have selected subnet, we have selected key, we will come to that part also. But what are the mandatory things without which you won't be able to create an EC2 instance? AMI and instance type. Without this, you will not be able to create EC2 instance. Right? So now what I'll do is, I think the AMI ID will be defined by using a keyword to which Terraform has generated. Terraform suggested that you will be able to define AMI ID by using the keyword AMI. So AMI is the keyword, and I've copied this AMI from where? From AWS Management Console, and I pasted it here. Right? I pasted it here. Next thing, instance type. This could be plenty. The time when we were creating, we selected it manually, right? We selected these options. There are multiple options. I can choose anything, but the one which I'm choosing is T3 micro. Same thing is chosen here. I'll for now delete the letter part. We'll come to that later on. For now, we'll keep it very basic. Very super basic. Now, what is the another thing? Name. First thing, name. There are many other things. It's not that this tag is not mandatory actually. Even without tag, you will be able to create it. But yes, if you put the tag, it's good, right? If you put the tag, it's good. So that you are actually saying what is the name of the EC2 instance which you want to create. Here the name is going to be hello world name, like the normally whenever you create your first script, the name is hello world script only. That is the reason it's given as hello world. So the tag, if you want to give a name to your EC2 instance, you will put under tags, right? You will put under tags like the way here, add additional tags, name and tags. What the AWS says, name and tags, add additional tags, add new tag. So this name is a tag. What is this? Name, and the name is test, right? Name is a tag. Hence, under tags, this keyword name is used and the name is hello world. So this tag will decide what is going to be the name of your EC2 instance. Okay, so this is a resource block which will create EC2 instance only. This resource block will not create EKS or S3 or a load balancer or a IAM. This won't create, this will create EC2 only. Why? Because this is the API which is capable of creating EC2 instance. Okay, I'll give a pause. And today we are going to end here only. Any doubt in understanding this block of the code? Any doubt specifically in understanding what is the usage of resource blocks? So what we have learned today, usage of resource blocks. I'll make a note of it. So what we have learned today we have learned usage of resource block, APIs defined by Terraform. And today we have learned only one API. We learned about other API also, but at least you understand what API means. Local variable for, or local name, I'll say, for API, and Terraform code to create a basic EC2 instance. Any doubt in this, any difference in opinion in this, please let me know.
Sir, if you can tell the difference between the AMI and the type, instance
Okay.
type.
Okay. So AMI is which AWS defines, based on which you will get one Linux, you will be able to choose a specific operating system. So now what I'm doing in this case, AWS, on AWS console, I want to create one instance of type Linux. Now AWS says that if you want to create Amazon Linux type of virtual machine, Amazon Linux operating system type of virtual machine in Asia Pacific region, the AMI ID is going to be this. So this is very specific to your operating system. This decides, AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image, which is very similar to Docker image. This decides which operating system you are going to choose to create your instance. Now, if I'm changing for, you see, the Amazon Linux is known by image ID 8FF2E. I'll change it and I'll make it macOS. As I change it to Mac OS, you will see that AMI ID will change. AMI ID changed. So this AMI is nothing but the ID which defines, which indicates which operating system in which region you want to use to create your virtual machine, your EC2 instance. This is what AMI ID is. And what is instance type? EC2 type is defines which type of or what is the configuration of your EC2 instance. Is it going to be big, like large, having 100 CPUs, 2000 MB of memory, or maybe 1 TB of memory? What configuration you will have? That will be decided by instance type. So configuration will be decided by instance type,
Yes, sir.
and the
Understood. Thank you, sir.
yeah, and that is what it is.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Any other doubt? So now I'll go with the assumption, if you don't ask me any further question, then I'll go with the assumption that you understood these all things, right? And next time I'll go a bit faster on this. So this is the time. Ask me any question if you do have an understanding these things. Or
I'm good, sir.
go through the recordings and again ask me question on this topic by tomorrow. Right?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Today we are going to end here,
Yep.
and we'll meet again tomorrow on and we'll discuss more on it. Okay. So
Okay.
practice if you did not start yet, and write this. At least write this thing. And this is very small till point, because after 3 or 4 sessions it is going to be complicated, and that time this basics won't help. Right. So this is the time if you want to just understand actually properly complicated things. Otherwise, when I'm explaining complicated things, you'll not understand anything. And perhaps by that time, I won't even explain much. So please practice today itself. Thank you.
Sir,
Thank
so
you.
this is script that you have on the screen. Is this Linux-based script or?
Yes, this is, I mean, the one EC2 instance which we are creating is Linux based, but the content like usage of a resource block or this AWS instance, which is the API given by Terraform, is not Linux based. This works equally good in Mac, equally good in Windows. So in case if you are writing this Terraform script in Windows machine, you will use exactly same resource block, same type of API, nothing difference in that.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good to
Yes, sir.
everyone?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Then let's
Yeah.
meet again tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.